Hi, thanks so much for tuning in to Mom Boss Chronicles. My name is Jen.
This is Sue.
And this is Danielle.
We are three moms that work together in real estate and are good friends, and here to talk to you about fun topics, the good, the bad, the ugly of mom struggles, real estate, and other fun stuff. So make sure to subscribe to listen to more.
Welcome back. Today we have a very special guest, my girl, Bonnie Brown.
Yay, Brown.
Hello. Do I wave to this thing?
I don't Yeah, wave it up, girl. So Bonnie is a recently retired teacher after 17 years at the very young age of 39. I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Her and her husband also own a small business called Taste of Asbury Food Tours in Asbury Park. So she'll tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's dive right in. Tell us about your journey. What has brought you here?
Well, hi, guys. How are you? Okay, so I have always wanted to be a teacher. Like, it really ever since I was little. I was a camp counselor for 15 years. Like, it was something that was a true passion of mine. And I understood going in, you weren't going to make a ton of money. Now, 17 years later, I'm starting to realize that that does have a very big impact on everything. Sure. Because now there's good and bad to it. Okay, the flip side is my husband and I have been working extra jobs since we've been together, you know.
So during those teaching years, you were working summers, right?
So,
He's a teacher, too.
Sorry, my husband's a teacher, too. Yeah, so we were working summer camps. We were working after school things. And then once we had the boy, so I have a 7-year-old and I have a almost 3-year-old. Wow. So when we had my 7-year-old, my husband was, okay, well, let me go back. 10 years ago, we went on a cross-country road trip. We were visiting our friends, Lauren and John, in California. Yeah, we did like the whole, like we camped for like, yeah, it was amazing. And it was kind of like how we also knew it was like, all right, yeah, this is like, we're meant to be. Yeah, like we're going to get married and we're going to do this thing.
Right.
So we were visiting our friends Lauren and John in California, and we were headed to Seattle, and they were like, you have to go up and do a food tour up there. And we were like, what's a food tour? And they said, well, you eat, you drink, you like learn about a city in a small amount of time, so it's a great place, like a great way to explore a town. And we were living in Asbury at the time. Now, this was 10 years ago, so it was really like starting to like come up, and there were so many restaurants, and I was like, oh, this would be a great idea. But it was a vacation dream. We didn't do anything with it. And then fast forward 7 years ago, we had our first son, River. My husband was coaching track, which it's track meets. If anybody knows, they are literally like all-day events.
All-day thing.
Yes.
All weekend.
All
right?
weekend, all day.
Right.
So like we had, you know, a new baby. I was home with him, like on maternity leave. We were not seeing him. I literally came in from grocery shopping one day, and he looked at me. He was like, Bonnie, let's start that food tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it was that good. Was it that good?
It was, yes. We had
Were
done
you like two ships passing in the night too? Like maybe that was the.
I think so too. It was just, we were so stressed, and it was like, we can't keep living like this. Like, before the kids, it was okay. We could work and work and work. But now it was like we had somebody we wanted to spend time with. We wanted to be home.
And as a family, not just you
like
alone.
not by myself. So we literally put the baby in for a nap. We bought a domain name, and then we like Googled, how do you start a food tour?
So you committed.
Yes, I had no idea. So like for months, we put the baby in like to sleep, and then we would just work on like a business plan, and we would sit for just like doing it, and it was like a labor of love. When people say that, we were so into it.
And you were excited about it.
Yeah. And then I remember like we came around with our business plan, and we walked around Asbury in the rain, and we like had taken a day off of work, and we walked into Confections of a Rock Star, and Kimmy, who's the owner there, it was her friend Teresa, who was like a partner with her at the time. She was like, okay, I'll give this to Kimmy, and we'll see, I think this might be something good. And Kimmy was like, yeah, I think this is great for the town. Like, not only are you highlighting restaurants, but you're also like giving them history, and you're highlighting, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, you're helping to bring more business into the town.
So she was kind of the first one that was on board, and we were like, wow, like you're like an Asbury OG. Like if she's on board, then we're good. And then we got a few more restaurants, and then we just kind of started to grow the business. That's awesome. we're 7 years, we started in 2017. So yeah, like 7 years later, we've grown very organically.
That's awesome.
And it's been wonderful, but it was still it's still a part-time job, you know? It was still like, okay, this was nice. And then it got to the point where we were doing Taste of Asbury, and then we still were picking up extra jobs after school. And last year, I was working after school. I was tutoring. I was getting home, like leaving the house at 5 o'clock, waking up at 5,
Wow.
getting all the kids like ready.
Wow.
And then my husband, I would leave my husband at 6:30, drive down, and he would get the kids ready, drop them to the babysitter, to daycare, run to school. Like it was just a crazy morning. Like our kids were miserable. We were miserable.
Not like getting to enjoy each other's company even for like 20 minutes.
Yes,
Like
it was just the mornings were so hectic. And then I was working after school, and it was just, again, so we could live,
Yeah.
you know? And we kind of did this reassessment of like, what are we doing here?
It's
Like,
such a systemic issue in our education system. Why should two teachers have to work all of these additional
Grinding,
jobs
I know.
just to make ends meet and live a normal? And it's not like you're going to Christian Louboutin. You're not-
I know.
Right. Like, you know, can I get some TJ Maxx, please, without having to work 3 extra fucking jobs?
100%.
Yes.
Yes.
You should be paid millions of dollars.
Thank you. And that was the thing. It was like I was pouring my heart into this job.
Yeah,
I see my
education.
husband pouring his heart into this job. And there's just education is just so flawed right now.
Yeah.
There's so many ingrained issues with it that it was kind of like, what am I doing? Okay. So then we're again at the standstill, but the universe, you know, I really do believe everything happens for a reason and things like that. So I've had a friend, Ashley, since high school, and we met her husband like 15 years ago, and we've just fallen in love with them. Like, they're just great people. So Ashley was a lawyer for DIFUS for a while, and then she goes and she's like, all right, I'm going to, get another job and start working. So she starts to really focus on her career. Her husband, Danny, he had worked for Governor Murphy. He was like a local government attorney, and he was working for a nonprofit real estate business at the time. And he said, he was like, their son got diagnosed with autism, and he was like, I want Ashley to focus on her career. I'm going to take a step back from mine and just kind of start maybe like a small little government consulting business. But that's small because he's so amazing and just has such a good reputation with the government officials and who you need to
his
talk
network
to.
and everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
which I was just listening to you guys talk about, the networking, it's so important. So because he's so amazing, his small business started to grow very quickly. He now is helping Netflix with the Fort Monmouth project, helping with tax credits and government programs. He's helping Madison Marquette with tax credits.
He took that leap.
Yeah, he took that leap.
That's amazing. And it worked out.
Yes. Yeah. So he calls me when he takes the leap, and he's like, Bonnie, I know with Taste of Asbury, you do the books and you like it. Can you learn QuickBooks for me? And I'm like, yeah, Danny, I'll help you with your little business. No big deal. We're friends. He's like, no, I want to pay you. And I'm like, okay, you can pay me a little. Well, he paid me a little more than I thought he was going to pay me. And I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then I kind of found myself just on the way to school, dreaming of things that I wanted to do for Taste of Asbury and things I wanted to do for his business, Conduit. And I would then get to school and was just kind of starting to feel very stifled and trapped, and was like, what am I doing here? I love the kids. I will miss the connections so much.
What grade were you?
I taught 6th grade,
Okay.
so it was a very pivotal year.
Yeah,
They come in as babies, and then the hormones hit, and they go wild. And I'm gonna toot my own horn. I was a good teacher.
Yeah,
I sat there. I talked through a lot of important issues that are gonna help, these kids throughout life. But that is exhausting too, And then I felt like I was coming home and I was so depleted for my own children. And I just wasn't happy anymore.
Right.
So I literally texted Danny and I was like, listen, I do your books. I know you can afford me. I will come and take the leap with you. I believe in your business. I believe in you. I think he's such a great guy, and I really think I can help grow your business. I like what you're doing. You're helping the community.
Right.
And let's do this. And he was like, are you sure? Because he's like, I love your family. Like, I don't want you. I know you're a good teacher. I don't want you to leave. And he was like, what happens if I get run over by a bus? And I was like, can you not get run over by a bus? And we can start this thing. And he's like, if it fails, I said, if it fails, we'll do it together. Like, I was ready. And it just, everything worked out and felt right. And
you took that leap.
And I took that leap. And now, like, I'm a week into it. And I'll tell you, I love it. Like,
You really are just recent. This is all
it is
very
literally
recent.
like, this is my second week. And
What a way to start the year. Like,
it was, oh my God, it was just wonderful. And I can spend the mornings with my children.
I was just going to ask you that.
Breakfast with your kids.
Yes.
Yes. Now,
important is
Now, Friday was wonderful. We were smiling, we're giggling. This morning, there was Legos everywhere. And we were, but
it happened.
it doesn't matter. Like, I'm part of my family now again. And I just wasn't feeling like that. So,
And you listened to your intuition because you were getting burnt out, it sounded like.
Yeah.
yes. And I felt bad because I felt that I wasn't doing the same service to the kids because I was getting burnt out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and how could you not? And I'm sure the decision to retire and leave a profession that you felt passionate about weighed heavy on you.
It really,
because it's something you love to do.
my
But
God.
what are you going to do? Your hands are tied. You're not being paid a living wage, really to have a family of your own, and you're not seeing your kids because you're working 2-3 other jobs.
Right.
You know?
And had you been paid more, you wouldn't have to work
Right,
2,
exactly.
3, 4 jobs,
Yeah.
and then you probably would have stayed.
Right.
And
Yeah. And then on the
whole
flip
different
side,
story.
as annoying as that is, a taste of Asbury has come out of that. So
that's-
it's
I
like,
know-
it's
well,
like where you like,
right. And now you probably have more time to focus on that too, which I think is
Which
amazing, and I
is
think it
so-
could be huge.
Yeah, and it's just, you're right. It's like, I'm so upset with this profession because I see so many wonderful people pour their hearts out into it, and I just wish we were getting paid what we should be getting paid. And I hate to make it about money, though. Like, it
course.
sounds so greedy and gross.
No,
we
no,
have-
But it's because at the end of the day, it leads to, you have to live. So then you have to work more jobs
Right.
and you're not there for your family. I mean, it's even, I look at like my husband, for example, and he makes a really decent living.
Right.
He's in a union, great benefits, everything, but it's like he still has to work more.
Yeah.
And it's like, when is it ever enough? Like, we never see him lately. He's always working.
Right.
Not overtime.
Yeah, it's like nonstop, and it's like, at what point?
Is it worth it?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Well, yeah, and it promotes, I guess, in some way, an entrepreneurial spirit, right? And for Danny, like when he's like, oh, yeah, I can see where he's being nervous, right? Because now your life is in his hands in a sense too. But you want to know what? You guys have both built something out of nothing, and if you did it before, like you'll do it again.
You'll figure it out.
And that's
Right.
and it just felt really, when things just feel right, that
Yeah.
you're just like, the universe was like, this is where you need to be right now,
Right.
and it was okay. And you're right, it's like, I don't want him to think like, oh no, like, you have to support me. I'm here to support you.
Yeah,
Like, we're
yeah.
in this together.
You can
So-
grow it together and
Yeah.
motivate each other probably more now.
which is
too.
very nice, like, just to have somebody else. But it's also just very nice to see already, like, appreciation. Like,
Yeah.
not like you're just working and people are saying like, oh my gosh, like, I just appreciate
Yeah.
you. They're not just shitting on you all
Yeah,
the time.
or like
that's
you
huge.
did this, and you didn't follow this protocol. Like, gosh, I can only imagine.
It's just
Yeah.
a lot of, and then it's like, oh well, we're just gonna, like, we don't want to come down too hard on the kids, so we won't have any discipline
that
at
you don't
school.
have
So we
structure,
won't.
yeah.
It's there's just a lot of fundamental issues with education that we need to deal with.
Yeah.
that they're not talking to the teachers about.
Yeah, of course not. Because the people that are making the decisions are ones who probably like never even were in a classroom.
Well, that's the
Right.
problem.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, just my own observations too, family dynamics have changed. Like, I mean, I know like when I was in school, if I got in trouble from a teacher, my parents beat my ass.
It was totally
And
like,
now
what
it's
did
like
you do?
the teacher's fault.
What did you do?
Right.
What didn't you do? What I know, and it's really.
I'm like, how did that happen?
Sue and I were just talking about this a couple hours ago, and it's like my stepson is 15. He's a sophomore in high school, and Ocean Township is supposed to be this great school district and great schools, and the things he tells me that goes on, it's not,
And they're probably
good.
not getting
It's like a
reprimanded
zoo.
or in trouble the way that they should be
Yeah.
because there's so much fear
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, there's a new principal this year, so I'm sure he or she is probably nervous
Yep.
to
Right.
implement whatever needs to be implemented. I don't know,
And it's
but
such a shame because back to the pay thing for it, if they had paid better, they would attract better quality people.
Yes.
yeah, for
So
sure.
who are you attracting with that?
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, and then you're pushing out the good people.
Yeah.
Like it was, and really, like when I left, when you have everybody being like, "Take me with you, please,"
Yeah.
it was like you just looked around, and I just felt so sad for everybody. I was like, we are really. It's like we're prisoners together, you know. And I'm like, I'm escaping, and I felt so bad for them too, because I'm like, these are good people that love their jobs that have just again been beaten down by the system, you know.
Right. What does that mean for like the future of our public education
know.
system? You know, I mean, we pay
can't-
taxes, and most of our tax money,
And we pay a
for
lot of
most-
taxes in
right,
Jersey.
Yes,
Yeah.
goes towards our education. And then we do have the best. New Jersey has one of the best education systems in America, which is phenomenal. But like compared to 20 years ago, you know, it seems as though it's just not comparable.
I don't know what's because
Teacher wages are not comparable.
Right. Where
like-
does the money
right,
go?
Yeah,
I am
cost of living. You know,
I am
it's
still
not-
seeing so many amazing teachers come in, and then I just get like sad for them.
Yeah.
I always tell people I would never tell my kids to go into education because they're eager and they're young and like they're like, okay, like me, you know, the money doesn't matter now. But then when you later, you know, down the line, or I'm even seeing it earlier, honestly, with people like Bree, I have an employee for Taste of Asbury. She's a teacher too, and she's teacher of the year, like a wonderful, like, or only like a few years into her career, and she's struggling already, you know? People are,
so sad.
yeah, they're just really struggling, and it makes me fearful for what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And again, just equal pay. Like, just give us the pay that we deserve.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
like,
absolutely.
we're literally shaping the future of America. I don't want to sound like
No, but that is the absolute truth.
It's
you
so
know,
real.
and think about how many people who are well off in their lives now and are successful, or CEOs or entrepreneurs or whatever, and they can link back their
I was just gonna
inspiration
say
to
that.
a certain teacher.
Yes.
You know,
That's
like
always
that
that one
inspired
teacher
them,
that's
right? Like that's usually the case.
I know.
Right.
And it's just, and you get so much like self-esteem from doing that, because these kids, like, they will give you so much, and that's why so many of us stay for so long, because it is the connection with the kids.
Yeah, you're
it
making a
is.
difference.
It's amazing what you can see, and that I've stayed connected with many of my students too, and seen them grow up.
How
and
cool, right?
it's just like, it's really wonderful to see that and to be a part of that, and that I'm gonna really miss.
Do you know what I love though? So I feel like you're an inspiration to them though. Those kids, your children, like, look, you listen to your intuition. You stepped out of your comfort zone, but you're doing what's right for you.
Oh, that's so sweet. And that is very true. I actually did, because a few of my students like did reach out to me like once they realized I was leaving, and they were like, they're gonna miss some of the best teachers. Like, some of them were mad. They were like, "Oh my god, like, you were my favorite teacher. I'm gonna really like miss that. Like, nobody will get to have you." But they were like, "That's great. Like, you have to do what's right for your family." I'm like, you have, even the parents of the students when I left were so supportive. They were like, "You have to. You're going to spend more time with your family. You're going to have a better quality of life." And like, some of them had been teachers and left.
Wow.
And you just hear all these stories that nobody ever like leaves it and then is like, "Oh, I really missed it,"
Right.
you know, and go back, which is sad.
know.
There's been like a mass exodus of teachers in the last few years.
Right.
Yes.
Well, what's to stay for? It's too. It's just a lot.
It is a
You
lot.
know.
Yeah.
It's really like just you're so overworked and underpaid.
Right.
Yeah, which is probably that there's a push for the homeschooling. Like, then you see a lot of parents who are looking for the alternatives. Yes.
Which drives me crazy too, because I'm like, there's so many good things that we could be doing in our school
That we're missing.
Yeah. You know, and there's just a lot of, there's like simple things that like lack of substitutes, like pulling,
Which is crazy.
which they're like pulling teachers from, like, you should be a basic skills teacher in there, and they're pulling you to sub because there's not enough, because they're not paying the subs enough. You know, there are solutions to these things that school districts are not handling,
Yeah.
which is very upsetting.
I guess we need to write to our Congress. Like, well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like,
at the
how
end of
does
the
this
day,
change
it's like, yeah, parents need to speak up. you
Yeah,
know, in
be
some
involved,
capacity.
yeah.
And you know, it's disheartening to hear that this younger generation is becoming so much more like, you know, the enchantment of it all is diminishing much more quickly because the Gen Zs, I feel like, would be the ones to kind of make a difference because they are outspoken, like, and they, you know, have much more confidence at a young age than I did.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like where they're
true.
like, so I don't know.
I remember when I graduated college back in like 2005, I had friends who studied education. And I remember vividly a few of my friends went to Florida to teach because there were so many not teaching positions available. It was
Yes.
so competitive. So many teachers
Yeah.
had graduated. It was
Yes,
a
I remember
competitive
that.
field. Fast forward now,
Yeah.
I hear the opposite.
Yeah.
Well,
Here
I
we are
know.
in 2024, and there are openings.
But you're still seeing like hundreds of applicants go to one. Like
Wow.
it still is very like
It's
so
a
that's
weird
what I'm saying. I
situation.
don't understand. I'm hearing the same thing,
Yeah.
and then it's like there are still a lot of people applying. There are still kids going. So there is something there. That
Yeah.
fundamental like want to help children is so
Yeah.
there. I
Right.
just wish I could do more to move it.
But I think you did the right
Yeah.
thing for you, and you're being a great example for the community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just want to show my own kids, you
Yes,
know, like if
totally.
you're not happy, don't just stay in a
No,
place.
life
like,
is too short.
You know, this is what I thought I was going to do forever, but twists and turns. And because of education, I am here. You know,
Yeah.
like you said, I started Taste of Asbury because we weren't making enough money. And then that Taste of Asbury led to Conduit. So it
That's
is
awesome.
almost like I can only look back at it now and be like grateful.
Grateful.
But I feel so, I mean, I see it with my husband. I feel sad that he's still there. I see it with my friends.
Right.
And I see them do so many great things on a daily basis that nobody knows and nobody sees or hears about.
Of course. You never hear about the
No,
good stuff.
you know, that it's like literally saving. Like I've seen my husband have conversations with kids that like he's literally saved their lives. at points. And
100% believe
it's
that.
just
yeah.
really sad to see him so beaten down, to see everybody so beaten down that they're just like, I want to try, but if the kids don't care and the parents don't care and the administration doesn't care,
Where
where
that
do you
leave
go? You know, like you're trying your best and then
That's so difficult.
I hope it changes because our community needs it.
I know.
Yeah.
But then again, like I do see in my own, like I feel like our kids have great kids, like in Wanamassa, I think
it's just the best.
it's like the sweetest little school.
It really is.
Yes.
It
And
really
I'm
is.
like,
the high school. I'm nervous,
But that's
elementary school, I'm like,
We have
oh my
some
God,
time.
it's so cute. And
It's
the
the
teachers
best.
seem happy. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really this little magical place.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'm like, I need all school districts to be like that.
Yeah, it's pretty
It could be the
incredible.
case study, right?
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing.
What are you guys doing? How do we replicate
Right.
this?
Maybe they're being paid well.
Yeah,
That's what I
maybe.
know. We're gonna see that.
You could
I
probably-
mean-
I'm sure you could look that information
Yeah,
up
you
and-
can find all that.
I mean, I know at least in the town I live in, West Long Branch, last time I looked, I think it was either 53 or 58% of tax dollars went to education
Okay.
in the school district.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Right. It's
So far,
our
I've been ha-
taxes
I
are
think
going up, so are the
I know.
teacher salaries
So
going up?
exactly.
I would
So
hope
they're
so.
collecting more.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
happening.
Listen, I'm happy. I am happy to pay teachers. Like,
Me
if you
too.
need to charge
Yeah.
me more for taxes,
Yeah.
and I know for sure
That's
that
going
is
to the
going
right.
to the
Yeah.
school. 100% school, police, fire, whatever. Like, I'm in.
Yes.
So,
My
I
son
just
loves
don't
going to
think it's
school,
happening.
and I'm so grateful. He's in third grade, and there, it's been years before where he wasn't as excited, but he has an awesome teacher this year, and she makes it exciting, and I love that he loves to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can we have this magic every year?
inspired,
Yeah.
you know, and that's
So it's such an important part of their lives.
I know. I've heard so many parents say that. So like that, it's like so and so. Like it was a battle every morning, and now they're so happy to go. Like
Yeah.
that is such a gift to
For sure.
the kid, to the parent, to the teacher, to everybody involved.
Right.
Yeah.
It can be
really
really nice.
Can you tell us more about your Taste of Asbury?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. I'm like, what's on the
what's that?
horizon?
Yes.
Okay, so what we do is we do like walking food and drink tours. So
love
we
that.
have a savor and stroll, which is like 5 food stops, 1 drink included. And we take you around to some of like the more known bars and restaurants and then some of the little hidden gems too.
I love that.
It's a mix of savory and sweet. So like for that tour, usually we start at like Black Swan and we do a mix of appetizers and then like a drink of their choice. And then we'll go to Mogo Korean tacos. Yeah, I love
So
Mogo.
good.
Cookman Creamery, Johnny Max. We go to Confections of a Rock Star, Lola's, Purple Glaze. So we have, yes, we have a ton of restaurants now, like
awesome.
in our little thing, and then we swap them out, and just to make kind of like the best tour based on the group too. So, and then we have a sip and stroll, which is 3 drinks and 5 spots. That's more of like a drinking bar. It's a mix of like bar, restaurants kind of things. And we give you the history from the beginning to like where we are with Asbury. We give you the history of the restaurant. Sometimes like the owners or the managers will come out and explain stuff. Oh, we go to Crust and Crumble too. I can't forget that. They're so good.
Yep.
They're a hidden gem underneath, and they've been there forever. And people like don't even realize they are some of the best pizza in
I don't think
Asbury.
I've ever had their pizza.
They make gluten-free pizza. Too, which is good.
That I know. I remember you ordering from them.
They're so good with it. They have a vegan menu, but they make Italian nachos. It's like deep fried pasta. Okay, with like 4 cheeses on it.
All right, I need to get that.
Yeah, calamari, olives, tomato. Oh, yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
yes.
All right, so we're going there.
Yeah.
Can we go on the tour?
Yes, you can.
And when does it run?
So we run weekends, and then we also do private tours,
that's
which is
amazing.
like we'll do a lot of like corporate tours, especially if like they want to do team building. It's really good for that. We'll do birthday tours.
I love that.
We're actually starting to think of getting into even like kids' birthday tours, kind of. Yeah, like right. Like there's so many good, especially like sweet shops and like ice cream shops, and then we could do like a killer pies, or we could do a Crust and Crumble or something like that.
That's a really cute idea.
Yeah. So we've done a couple of like specialized tours along the year. We did like a vegan tour once that
that's awesome.
which didn't get a ton of traction, but I'm like, every time I tell people that, they're like, oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
So we try to do a dog tour, like
Oh my god.
Like the dog-friendly spots?
Yes, yeah, because it's so dog friendly in Asbury, and that never really worked out. So we're gonna start to do more of those, but we love doing like private corporate tours.
That sounds
just
like
because
fun.
it really is. It's great for their team building. We've done like Christmas parties.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how cool.
We also take like the commission of the visually impaired and blind people. We take them out every year. Yeah, so we work with like a lot of like just really good like corporations like that too. And it's just a fun day. And honestly, what sets us apart, which is kind of like my own thing, is that like I love to host parties. Danielle knows. I love having people over. I love to make sure that you feel taken care of. And with the food tour, you don't have to worry about anything.
That's awesome.
Like I always tell people, I've had a lot of people say like, I'm the mom. I usually have to worry about the group and this. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll be the mom of the group. I'm going to tell you, you got 5 minutes. We're going to go here. I'm taking the pictures.
Yep.
And people can actually just enjoy their day and see the town. And even if you're from here, you've lived here, you're
I wanna
in
do
5
it.
restaurants in 3 hours. You know, there's no way you can do that now.
And it's just a fun outing, and it's probably enjoyable for you guys because the people are happy to be there.
Right.
I have
Eating,
literally, I've literally met so many amazing people, heard so many inspiring stories along the way. Again, just following people like on Instagram, and I've seen like, I had your bachelorette party and I watched you get married and have a baby, and like
So
you
fun.
just connect with people,
Right.
and it's really beautiful. And you're seeing people like most of the time they're celebrating, they're having a good time.
Right.
Not many people are going to be angry on a tour.
Right.
I've had one girl tell me, she was like, I haven't eaten a donut in 15 years. And I was like, why are you on this tour?
So then skip it.
Today's the day.
Yeah, I was like, you need to have a purple glazed donut.
Yes.
then. But it has literally been so much fun, and it was like the driving force that really made me realize, like, okay, teachers have so many talents
Oh my God, yeah.
outside of the
Right.
classroom, and just the organization and the time management and the
Patience.
Yes.
The connecting.
I
Yeah.
must say, you have to be able to connect with people
Yeah.
if you're a teacher, so that's
Yes. Well, and then I've seen like even like Jimmy, the owner of Cookman Creamery, he was a former teacher, and he's like, like you see people along the way, they're like, yep, we got out. And I realized like I have a big skill set that I can like utilize in other areas.
That's awesome.
For
So,
sure.
yeah, so I'm excited to grow Taste of Asbury. It's been very like organic.
So is that a website that people go to?
Yes, tasteofasburyfoodtours.com. And
Awesome.
we have an Instagram too. I'm like really practicing my reels. I'm getting pretty good.
Danielle can help.
Oh, yeah. Because again, haven't had time to really
Right.
market
Yes.
or grow this.
Right.
But
And
you will.
So now I do.
Yes,
You
and
know?
if you got this far organically, imagine what
Uh-huh.
if you just put the
I
time in.
know.
what
And we survived through COVID too, which was a killer.
I can imagine.
We had already had so many bookings and then COVID hit and we had to give back all this money
yeah.
and our ticketing company went down. So that was a whole thing. But again, we're we've survived and we're
Right.
still going and thriving and Asbury just keeps thriving
my gosh.
too.
Yeah.
So there's
I love Asbury.
Yeah, I feel like
just love
each
it.
year they just
There's
keep
new
adding,
restaurants all the time.
residents, which is amazing. Like more
know.
is happening, and it's
Yeah.
becoming even more exciting.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really wonderful that we get to share it. And I've made so many wonderful connections in Asbury to people that, again, they just followed their dreams, that they were working in corporations or big business and they were miserable and they were like, let's just do it. And they took the leap and it was very inspiring to see that. And I think that also motivated me to just take the leap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
And Asbury is an awesome city. So if anybody's listening and hasn't been there, you have to come to
Yeah.
Asbury and do this tour.
And even if you are from there, it's great
Yeah.
to show
Yeah.
other people.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
Say we book it.
Let's
Yeah.
do the tour.
Yes, let's do the tour.
Good team bonding.
Then we can make a reel.
Anything. Yeah, do it.
Anytime, girls, okay?
What's the
proud of you.
Instagram for the?
Taste of Asbury food tours.
Awesome.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll link all
we'll
of
link
that.
everything.
Oh, yeah. Do all
And-
that.
Yeah.
They show me how to do that.
I love
Getting
it.
better. I'm gonna take some classes too. I'm gonna really learn now that I have the time.
Yes. Well, this is amazing. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
proud of
thank
you.
you,
Like,
ladies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Honestly, I've listened to a few of your conversations and you have spoken so nicely. Like, I just really, it's very inspiring. You're very motivational and it's wonderful to hear other moms just talk like this.
Yeah.
It's really
Thank you. We
wonderful.
appreciate
So
you.
thank you for
It's been
having
fun
me.
to help support other moms.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I love
That's
this.
what it's all
I know.
about.
This girl power
Yes.
girl. I love it.
That's right.
Run the world.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Bonnie.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
Tune in next week.